but we had any kids come out of the house. We're shocked. I'll get a decent dozen.
I'm positive. I got 300 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
Give out 2 to each person. But I don't know. I went through almost one week back. I had to take off my wife and I.
So, some bunch of information for you today. This is your regular board meeting packet with a copy of your negotiating.
But I was really
Copy of the
surprised.
finalized resolution.
Yeah, for what kind of date it was.
Yeah. Although we usually have more than one.
DOI confirmation memorandum, everyone gets one of these, so I'm pretty sure they did it, you know, today. And then I have all those documents that you requested, so I'm gonna ask if you would sign and receive these documents from me. Because I still insist that these documents are already out at your office, so I don't wanna make it have to make a percent. So I want record that you did receive them today. If you'll sign this one, I'll keep the copy, you can keep the original. It does, it's Mr. Franceschi's, right, the original was, those are the ones that is. Thank you. Oh.
That was a wealth of
Take that one, you can sign that one for yourself, and keep it in the record. Thank
it
you.
goes by district. District.
Well, okay. Well, that's your packet. Right. I'll put them on the floor.
Okay, that's fine.
Both clocks are on.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Change the smoke
No ladders
detectors too,
needed.
please.
Huh?
Change the smoke detectors too, please. Change the class, change the smoke detectors. Ever heard that phrase before?
I've never heard that phrase. I gotta find out where that one's from.
I think there's a problem in my kitchen currently with a smoke detector, but we won't go there either.
I think there was 2 wires hanging. No. Those weren't to signify the dinner's done.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's on the clothing. Did you smell it prior?
No, yeah, because I smelled it coming over.
You know, I smelled it just when I got by one part of Jim's door.
Office part is fine.
Look at that. I was gonna say, or have Frank smell it.
Thank you.
Or just we.
Will you sign in for me, please?
Here's an agenda for you that you'd like to.
Thank you. How are you these days? Doing well.
Trick or treating.
No, there is really good. You don't need to be.
No.
Hey guys.
Hey, Dan.
This is 6. I hit it with my pen on accident. I
So
was doing that and I forgot my pen was
right
down.
here, that little hallway before you get to where the QI sit, just right there, there's a big bathroom wall, and I feel like it's right there where the pants and it's not. But that's not a there's another thing that I think is on the wall.
Yeah.
Which means like some
I don't believe so. I didn't hear from him.
You could still show up.
Yeah, yeah. You would have been.
like it sounded, right, exactly. Got it.
You put all this in there? Get one more, go one more. Oh. For the BSC. Send it in. Or we can email it, I don't know, whatever, what do you think?
Sorry, folks,
You can check.
I got the lefty disease.
I know you left-handers.
Yep, mess up every table.
Do you throw left too, or do you throw right?
No, I throw right.
You throw right, but you right, left?
Yep. I iron with my left hand. That's how my grandma taught me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And some guys can do both.
My son, a little bit.
Oh, he's able to do both?
He bats left-handed. I bat
But
right-handed.
throws right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys on the teams I played on that were able to do both. Can't say that.
Make a sign, like an employee number or something like that?
Yeah,
Uh,
or case number.
mhm. So there's confidentiality.
Yeah.
I see better with my old glasses than the new.
Yeah, we'll just- we'll have to see how we can do
Hey, good, how you doing? Everything well? Good, good, you look good. Hi.
it. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody, let's please rise. Let's call the meeting of the Joliet Town Board on Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. The hour of 5 o'clock is upon us. We'll start out as usual with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our clerk.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Okay. Meeting haven't been called to order. Pledge. Calling of the roll, please.
Good evening, trustee Slattery.
Here.
Trustee Gavin.
Here.
Trustee Verding. Here. Trustee Hertzman.
Here.
Supervisor Vera.
Here.
Clerk Knight present, you have a quorum.
Okay. First order of business, approval of the regular town board meeting minutes of October 22nd, 2019.
Move to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of October 22nd, 2019, and waive the reading thereof since they were delivered to us previously through email.
Second.
Motion by trustee Slattery, second by trustee Gavin for the approval of the minutes from the regular town board meeting of October 22nd, 2019, and waive the reading there. Any additions, corrections, deletions of those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next up is approval of the closed session minutes as to form and content from October 8th, 2019.
Make a motion that we approve.
Wait,
Nope.
wait.
I'm sorry. Been fast all day. Okay.
Is there one there for Mr. Hardy as well? Somebody's got two.
No, no, I got two. I got two.
I'll make a motion to approve the form and content of the closed session minutes.
Motion by trustee Hertzman, second by trustee Slattery to approve the closed session minutes as to form and content from the October 8th, 2019 meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions of those minutes? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Gavin?
Aye.
Trustee Burden? Aye. Trustee Hertzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Vera?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Moving on to public comment. Anybody wishing to address the board? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Supervisor. Thank you, Board. I mentioned the compensation resolution last time I was here. In reviewing additional records, I've got some concerns that I'm not understanding, so hopefully there can be some clarification brought to the table. As an example, and since you're the supervisor, I'm just going to reference you. There's other officials on here, but in 2018, the salary was to be $75,159, $1,000 for the road district, and $3,600 for auto allowance. Yet the W-2 for that year, or that total according to the resolution, is $79,759, but that's not what's reflective on your 2018 W-2. Now the W-2 matches IMRF reporting, which leads me to another question, but there's inconsistencies in the compensation resolution versus reporting on W-2. The car allowance doesn't appear to be on there. There's nothing listed in section 12 regarding medical benefits. And then on your website, you've got 2013 through 2017 Joliet Township elected official salary and health insurance benefits for the supervisor, and this says 2013 through 2017, $70,845. Well, when you go to IMRF reporting, 2013 it was 76,000, 2014 75. Every year it has an increase. But the resolution on the website, the information you're telling the public, it's a set figure of 70,845. So the numbers aren't matching. So there's some concerns with that. The resolution that, the W-2s appear to match with IMRF, but those W-2s distinctively do not match the compensation documentation of what individuals are supposed to be paid. So I would really appreciate, and I can summarize all this in an email if you like, if you're willing to provide some response to it. That's up to y'all. Just let me know one way or the other, because I don't want to publish something that is not accurate from what I'm seeing from your own records. The other concern I have looking through the minutes, last time we raised the issue of not bidding for the lawn care, and I do appreciate you sending me the prevailing wage information, because it confirms you're well aware of prevailing wage obligations. There was a motion made in the past to waive bidding for masonry work that far exceeded the bid requirements. And in those minutes it even acknowledged there were 2 vendors identified, but since it's special work you took an option to waive it. There's no provision to waive it, and when you identify 2 vendors, you just cut one vendor out of a potential to do business in the community. And that's not consistent with the law. The pattern, the same with the mowing, masonry, there's some others I think Mr. Kraft's going to raise issue with. It appears the pattern is bidding requirements are being ignored. And I'm not sure why. And I'd really love to find out why. No comment?
Public speaking.
No comment? No response? Thank you, sir.
I would defer to council.
Yeah, I mean, this is public comment. They have a right to make public comment. I mean, if people want to address questions to you, they can do so in another forum. But this is under the Open Meetings Act, the ability for the public to make their comments
Right.
wherever they are.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I'm John Kraft. I was looking at the mosquito abatement checks sent out, total more than $41,000, and I don't believe it was bid out as required. would like to know why it wasn't bid out. And hopefully you'll bid it out next year. That's all I have, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? No?
Unless there's any other public comment.
Just one other quick note, in regards to the Light District, if anyone, your attorney, your board, anybody can provide any documentation to support you have the power to transfer a Light District to the Road District, I'd love to have a copy of it. Because I believe you're gonna find that there is no such authority, and by taking the money from the Road District in the fashion you have is going to be very problematic.
Anything else? Anybody else? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. First up is the approval of the annual PACE paratransit agreement. It's in your packet? Yep, I found it. Anything to add to this, Colleen?
Did you speak to me again?
Yeah, I said, is there anything else to add to this?
Actually, our portion is less this year. Last year it was just over 22,000, and this year it's 15,545.
All right, everybody have a chance to review it? Good. Rena?
I make a motion to approve the annual PACE paratransit agreement.
Second.
In the amount?
15,000.
15,545.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion by trustee Verdon, second by trustee Gavin, for the approval to enter into the annual PACE paratransit agreement. The Joliet Township portion is $15,545. Any questions? Any clarification needed? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Slattery.
Aye.
Trustee Gavin.
Aye.
Trustee Burton.
Aye.
Trustee Hudson.
Aye.
Supervisor Garrett.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. All right, that's it under new business. We'll go on to reports. First up, I had the opportunity last week to attend the neighborhood association meeting. Myself and trustee Gavin were present. We answered quite a few questions between the two of us. And for the organization that's come before us a couple of times, they are changing their name, Southeast Neighborhood Organization, or Neighborhood Association. That's it. So they had a vote, two of a half a dozen names tied, and then they did a show of hands vote, democratically in front of everybody, and Southeast Neighborhood Association was the winner. So that was completed. Also, I did attend on the Saturday, the recycling event held by the county for electronics recycling. I took my truckload of recycling, broken, whatever, calculators, whatever we've had here over the last couple of years, loaded them up and took them to the event in Sherwood, met with the county officials over there, signed in, obviously, checked in over there. Next up, if you noticed in the parking lot, you may not have, but we had gas meter protection put in On the exterior of this building is the large, very large gas meter that was installed last year because of the gas pressure problems here on this side of Joliet, along the river here. And the outside company suggested that we put up steel production because somebody could easily run into it with a car going in and out of a parking spot. So when you get a chance, look, you'll see that the steel tubing was put in, bolted to the building and bolted to the sidewalk. So anybody that may hit it now is going to damage their vehicle and punch a hole, I suppose, in the brick of the building if they're going to hit it hard. In addition to that, the city has not come back. They cut the street, because this was a former street at one time. They cut it. They have not come back to repair it. We saw the cut. They were here for the saw cut, but they've not come out to come dig it out. It's been going on for a couple of months now, so I suspect I'll have to call the city manager and our public works director and ask what the latest is on that. So, but anyway, be careful when you're walking by the meter. It's now got steel tubing around it to protect it. So, other than that, that's all I've got to report for tonight. What I've attended or what I've gone to on behalf of the township since our last meeting. We'll go next to the clerk.
I completed minutes for October 22nd regular meeting and the closed session from October 8th. The letters of award were issued for the Kubota and John Deere mowers, you know, that we surplused and then we opened bids at the last meeting. Payment was received and the John Deere was picked up last week.
Okay.
Arrangements have been made for the Kubota to be picked up this week per contacting Mr. Turnbull, because those are picked out of the road district. The purchase of the Kubota has until November 10th to pick it up, Mr. Peterson. Those are the provisions of the contract that we entered into with that. A bid for snow plowing services was published on Monday, November 4th, 2019. The scheduled opening is Friday the 15th. A press release for the 2020 meeting and holiday schedule was issued. And I wanted to share a sad note with all of you. Our longtime friend, Peter Valek from the St. Pat's group, passed away. He was a former president of that group and a resident here in our township. I did send a sympathy card to his family today expressing our sympathy. Such a nice man.
Yes.
Sad to see him be gone.
Obviously, Ray, you remember him.
I remember him quite well. He was a client of mine.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know that part.
yeah,
Anyway, long time
long time, yeah.
leader over there at that organization. Okay. Moving on then, Highway Commissioner Mike.
All right, I passed out a packet report for everybody to follow along. Basically, everything the same at the office as usual. We got the big truck back, did preventive maintenance on that per the warranty. Worked on the trucks last week, had to put some backup lights, windshield wipers and stuff like that. We did pre-salt on Thursday evening and again Friday morning because we had some black ice out there in spots. Got the loader repairs, the cost of that, and basically what we've spent on the machine since we purchased it, or since the township purchased it in '99. We got about $55,000 in the machine, and of course I've got some numbers below what it would cost if we had to replace it at this time. The machine is very sound, so there's, for a salt machine, it's in remarkably good condition. Got some quotes there at Rowell Avenue. The striping got done on Rowell yesterday. I didn't get any pictures because they didn't get done until yesterday afternoon late. We're going to take 3 trees down to improve the line of sight there. We reinstalled the stop sign today. We also, last week, got some requests from Loop. Found out that the reason that they haven't been requesting any permitting is they've got 3 or 4 new people in the office that don't know what they're doing and not sure how to go about it. So finally they did reach out to us and we cut them a couple of permits. And of course here we had garbage all over the place, trees, down, flooding, pothole patching. Finally got Patterson Road done. Really turned out good. I signed off on that today at the county for the MTF, or MFT, excuse me. The information about the snow season, what we've done up to current. And then Farrell finished up in Ingles Park today. They did the pre-grinding at Green Tree. They're supposed to start on that, and we still have Ridgewood left to finish. I'm still working on the new vehicle purchases. Not having any luck. Nobody has anything in stock. And I got a breakdown here of what was done on the tractor and some pictures of some other tractors with the prices. Basically just information here. Some pictures back here. Well, I got the loop paperwork here for the permitting that they requested, and some pictures here of the down trees that these guys have been working on. That one fell across in the afternoon late, and the county sheriff said just wait till the next day to notify the people that own that truck so they could get the truck out of there. But as you can see, the tree was laying across the truck. And the truck has been there for 2 or 3 years per the sheriff. It's not moved, and they notified the people, and they just choose to ignore it.
No, Mr. Turnbull, just to clarify, you reported on this at the last meeting already, right?
No.
Yes, you did.
Parker?
Yeah, about the
Oh.
tree falling on the truck, and they didn't have a current tag for 2 years. And the sheriff told them to move the truck.
Yes, I did. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's okay, I just want to clarify.
And then here's the flooding at Sharon and Patterson. This just happened, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And then some pictures of this Patterson Road. What was involved in getting that fixed to be able to get our work done to complete everything. And you can see the finished pictures, and you can see it was pretty extensive. I did close the road down for the day. I requested a closure for 4 days, and Austin Tyler told me they could probably get it done in 2, and we only closed it from 8 until 3 so people could get to work and kids could get to school and back. And we only actually closed it 1 day, and that was last Tuesday, a week ago. And all the work was completed on that day.
And when would that have been? Was it October, November?
Last week it would have been, what, the 20...
That's already flipped to November and
Oh.
December. So it was last Tuesday?
Yeah, so it'd been
And
the
this is on
29th.
Patterson Road with the
Yeah,
Austin
the
Tyler?
29th it would have been.
Okay.
Tuesday the 29th. So that's pretty much the long and the short of it. Anybody have any questions?
Okay. I'm sorry, moving to our assessor, Jim.
Continuing to work on appeals. We had some hearings this week, residential. We're helping, Dale and I have been going out, remeasuring buildings, getting ready for the commercial hearings, taking care of phone calls, people walking in, and day-to-day business.
Okay. Our attorney, Jim.
Spent the last week meeting with the supervisor, the clerk, and other officials as to some issues, acclimating myself to your procedures and practices, reviewing minutes from past meetings and agendas, and getting myself up to snuff.
Yep. Welcome again, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay. Our accountant, Colleen.
The bank reconciliations for October are done. They are in the folder for your review on the table. The IMRF monthly wage reports have been filed for October. Sarah and I met with our rep from One Digital regarding our health insurance renewal for 2020. He did inform us that our Blue Cross Blue Shield rate increased by 11.57% over last year, in keeping with the current plan. They did look at other options for us, but in comparing these options, it looks like our current plan is the most cost effective. Our vision insurance has had an increase of 3.97%, keeping with our current plan again with VSP. We usually enter into a 2-year rate agreement with them. And then our dental insurance does not have a rate increase as we are in the second year of a 2-year rate agreement with them. All the details for the plans have been included. I passed them out earlier tonight. Please look them over between tonight and the next board meeting. And if you have any questions, feel free to give Sarah or myself a call, and then we can look into it for you. In addition, Gary, the rep from One Digital, he's willing to come here to the next board meeting to answer any questions if the board so desires. Health insurance will be on the agenda for our next meeting, at which time the board can determine which plans they think for the township. And then day-to-day operations.
Okay. Animal Control, Whitney.
Sorry. So Sarah and I have been meeting to help with the transition process, and it's going really well. She's very helpful. We posted for a certified veterinary technician position this past Friday, and we've already been getting some applications for it. And we have had a very generous donation from Incline Welding and Construction, including cat and dog food, paper towels, cat litter, and dog treats. And in the report that I passed out earlier, I don't know, you guys can see that we had a lot of dogs and cats, more than usual, brought in. But most of the dogs actually got returned to their owners, which is really good, actually, more than half of them.
Yeah,
and then,
it's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, thanks to the microchips. And then for the cats, we actually had 22 of them get transferred out to rescues, which helped with the cat population in the cat room as well.
Okay. Next up, General Assistance, Patricia.
I attended the meeting for the Community Service Council. We had a discussion about the possible changes for our legislative forum format and possibly holding it in the evening next year and inviting the general public. Our guest speaker was Meredith Montgomery from the Continuum of Care, who is seeking donations of items to help the homeless as we come into the winter months. I attended the Education and Support Services Committee meeting for the Continuum of Care. We worked together on the system map for the service area of education and employment, listing out programs that were available to youth. Morning Star Mission joined us today so that we could talk about Project Acclaim Ministry and discuss issues with the youth program and the intake process, but we did not complete the intake process. Morning Star does not follow up with the youth that do not enter the program, so we've suggested that perhaps the referral point of contact should follow up to determine what is helping the individuals make the decision not to enter the program. We figure if we can find out why they're not entering the program, we can tweak it so that they will enter it. We reviewed topics to be discussed at the membership committee meeting that's going to be taking place on November 1st. And we also will be inviting the state's attorney's office to our next meeting to get clarification on what services a youth can legally, independently seek out for themselves. Sandra went over and attended the resource fair at Riverwalk, and that event was well attended. The GA workers and myself attended a GAP meeting at Frankfort Township. The guest speakers were Eva Kukala from IDES and Susan Flessner from Workforce Services. The current unemployment rate in our area is under 4%. Both gave presentations on their programs, and we were provided detailed information about Illinois Job Link for our GA clients. What Illinois Job Link will do for the GA clients is when we tell somebody that they have to do job search in order to obtain their GA payments, they get a card when they go to the Workforce Center, and they swipe that card when they go in, so we can actually follow up and know that they're adhering to the schedule that we've set for them as far as their job search requirements are concerned. I attended the MAP meeting for the Stabilizing the Built Environment. The objectives of that program is going to be to increase the coordination linking between housing and secure individuals and health services. They're hoping to increase that by 5%, to increase vocational training offered to housing and secure populations by 5%, expand emergency shelters within the 60432 and 60435 area codes by 5% by 2022, and approve the stabilization of existing housing shelters and structures within Will County through improvement of substandard living conditions. That's also by 5% by October of 2022. I attended the fall membership meeting for the Continuum of Care. The interesting statistics that they presented were that 71% of the people that found themselves homeless in the past year were experiencing homelessness for the first time. Of those people, 21% actually had employment. 48% of those people had income. Of the folks that actually worked with the Continuum, 19% exited to housing, which is on par with the national statistics. Providers of rapid rehousing are developing a pilot to provide housing support for households who are eligible for both rapid rehousing and workforce services. So they're trying to combine now rapid rehousing and workforce services together as a partner, so that when they rehouse someone, they're more successful through getting the assistance from workforce services. Beyond that, it's just business as usual in GA.
Okay, thanks. I didn't hear from you.
No, I did not.
Okay, just want to make sure. Last but not least, the cemetery report. Just a couple of things, just to let you know that the remodeling of the old garage out there is done, completed. The new roof is on. It's been remodeled, rehabbed, I should say. I know this isn't sexy news, but the porta potty was picked up, so it's no longer needed, as for the winter months, of course. So that was taken last Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it was picked up. It was the first day it snowed, whatever day that was. It was picked up. So anyway, the close out of the season, all I've got left to do out there is hopefully this weekend we'll be reinstalling 5 marble Civil War headstones that were in the front lot when you first drove into the complex of the area out there. We're going to be reburying them properly over by the Civil War Memorial itself, the colonnades.
You're only going to be installing the stones though, correct?
We'll be installing the stones, yes. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong, but
That's okay.
we're going to install the stones per the military requirement. We've been told about height and distance and how far apart they have to be to meet the standards that's already been established out there with all the other Civil War Memorial stones that are out there. So we've just got those 5 left to install, and that will complete the season out there. Everything else is ready for the snow when it comes in earnest. So we got a little dusting last week for a couple of days, but we're in good shape to close out the season and see what happens in the spring. I did have the opportunity to talk to the civil engineers on Friday. The accountant, Colleen, asked me to follow up on where they're at on the engineering drawings for repaving another one of the grass/gravelly lanes that's out there, as we did one this year. So they hope to have the drawings and bid documents available after the first of the year. So the plan, as you know, is hopefully to try to do 1 lane for the next however many years it's going to take to do all that out there. Whomever the supervisor is in the future and whatever else you guys all decide to do out there. So that's the plan going forward. But the season is closed. All we're dealing with is, I was out there today talking to the JPD officer. They are regularly in the cemetery. They patrol the cemetery. Today's officer was sitting in the cemetery in a squad car. Introduced myself, as I did to the other officer the other day, and they are very much aware of the situation out there with the folks that are out at the cemetery. I'll just leave it at that. And so I did make a request earlier this season to JPD. They've been more than helpful and more than accommodating with the patrols. Each cycle of the patrols, the 7 to 3, the 3 to 7, or 3 to 11, 11 to 7, they are making runs through the cemetery, both at our area and the other 2 cemeteries nearby. So they've keep assuring us, and I can only tell you JPD is doing a great job, so. And I don't know if you've had any more calls out there in terms of the fire department, but I know there's been some calls in the past, but JPD's been really outstanding to work with, so compliments to them. That's it on the cemetery report. Probably won't be much more in the future, so whether this stays on the agenda for the next 3-4 months remains to be seen, but I doubt there'll be any other activity other than maybe we'll get a call about a burial or something. Obviously, I'll notify the board at the appropriate meeting. So that's it on the cemetery report, just to let you know where we're at. Okay, anything else? Are you guys through bills? Are we ready? Yep. All right. Next up would be the approval of the receipts.
Make a motion that we place the cash receipts into their proper accounts.
Second.
Motion by trustee Slattery, second by trustee Gavin to approve the receipts as presented and place them into their proper accounts. Any questions on any of those receipts? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ready for bills? Oh, we'll wait for Rosie.
Sorry.
That's okay. Oh, I thought you were going through it.
No,
Oh, you
I'm
finished?
just, yeah, I'm just trying to,
That's okay. Take a moment.
thank you.
Okay. Approval of expenditures and bills. Wait a second. Oh, also I got one thing for you, Mike. A person called in, I already met at the meeting last week, so just so you know.
Okay.
That's all the details I know. So, I'm sorry, I meant to hand that to you earlier. First bills tonight under our general town, total $59,378.83.
Move that those bills be certified as correct.